What this is what used to be referred to as a Lowboy stereo cabinet. I'll try to get enough of a shot here to where you can see what it is. The color scheme is beige, and I wish we could keep it, but it just doesn't really have a use unless I were to build all of this out into bookcases, and I don't have the time to do that. Again, as I mentioned in the previous video, we're looking to move out of state. I'll cover these in a minute. These are for support. It's obviously on a piano dolly right now. But it sits on the floor, and there is space underneath here for storage as well. The thing to know about this, let's see if I can get a shot of it. Under here, this is all custom. I did this myself. So you won't find this on any other Ikea item, as far as I know, because it was all designed and modified by Moi. And what I discovered when I began to put components in this is that because this is particle board, there was a small amount of bowing, as in 747. Anyway, so all humor aside, which was not that big a deal, and many people wouldn't even care, but it upset my aesthetic balance, my aesthetic sense, and I didn't like it. So what I did, let me turn this sideways if I can without wrecking anything, is I came up with this idea. Again, it just needs to be gone over with a cloth with a light amount of detergent in it to clean it up. Oh, there goes the dryer, or the washer. So this connects here, and this pipe is filled with concrete, and you will see that it connects up here to the top, and it's adjustable. You turn the screw and it either releases or applies pressure to the surface here, and now you don't have the sagging of the components. So as you can see here, I really should have gone over this. It's in really nice shape. I wouldn't have it in my home if it weren't. And just a couple of little tiny scratches on this, which would be covered up anyway by the unit. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pause this and go upstairs. We still have the Panasonic cathode ray TV. This is before the big onslaught of the LCD monitors, or the plasma, and so on and so forth. Pausing. And there it is. Why is it sitting on a piano dolly in our living room? Well, that's because we are having mold remediation done. Water intrusion, that is. So this whole dining room area was affected. Actually, 3 of the 6 rooms in the house were affected. So we have all of this going on, jammed into the corner here. You can imagine preparing meals. But it's working its way out, and we're approaching the end game. So this is the Panasonic, and it was in the dining room on the piano dolly. Why am we keeping it? Well, because there are people who pause. So back to the stereo cabinet. There are folks around who are still very enamored of the cathode ray old style TV, and this one looks as good as it did when we bought it. So just for an FYI, that was the most expensive television set I could find. It's kind of a habit that I have. I buy the most highly regarded expensive thing I can, and then it lasts a long time, longer than the usual. So now let's talk about these. I'll pause and put this on a tripod. Alright, there are 2, and as I mentioned before about the particle board and the tendency for putting weight or mass on the particle board causes it to bow down a little bit. convex, if you will. So I fashioned these. Aesthetics-wise, the brass nuts here match the brass previously viewed in the video. So there's a certain coordination there. These were burnished off to the front because they attach somewhere in here. Let's see where it is. There's one here and one here, like so. That prevents any dropping to the floor in this, if you will. And as you can see, these are adjustable. So what you want to do is, I'll adjust them all the way in here. Once it's set up, then you simply grasp this with your hand, or however you do it. I guess it's more like that. You can see the threads here, so if that's problematic, which it won't be because these were removed from here in the condition that they are now. You just use a technique that I've been using for a long time. Anything that you want to make black, it's called magic marker. You just get a Sharpie and run the Sharpie around here a couple of times and bingo, all black again. And these are from the bottom of a cane, I believe. I probably purchased a couple of cheap canes. Anyway, they're rubber and they're still in decent shape. They go like that. So there you go. The value of this, especially with a heavy tube TV like that, is that you don't have to break your back to put it on the stand, because the TV is heavy. Another thing is that I don't like to crane my neck. Upstairs in our home theater system, I have our 55-inch big screen mounted on another Ikea. Matter of fact, it's exactly the same beach finish. I think we just lost our light. This camera makes up its mind to do things of its own. Anyway, that's all. And this is up for grabs as well. Because there's so much custom work involved and it's such a unique item, it probably won't be quite as inexpensive as the two wardrobes here that I had just shown. And they may be listed in the same ad or maybe not. And you can't see them now because even though we're still recording, we don't have any flash or assistive light, quote unquote. Okay, this is only 8 minutes long. That's not horrible. And there you have it. One Ikea stereo cabinet. Don't need it. Still want it. Can't keep it. Broccoli. Don't eat it. George. What are the two initials? The original George Bush. Old man Bush. Today, Captain's Log Star date is the 21st, I believe, or 22nd of September 2019. It is Monday.